Hello friends, my name is Beroz and welcome to my channel where I share with you tips, tricks that I read, learn and apply in order to become the best version of myself. Now in this video, I will share with you a smart technique to make your to-do list which has dramatically increased my productivity. Now to-do lists are a great way to keep track of your outstanding tasks. However, these to-do lists can be a poor motivator since they often end up too long, too short, too vague, too confusing, overcommitted, forgotten, and at times very meticulously prepared. For years, I made mistake of writing my to-do list at the start and end of the day, telling myself that crossing things off that to-do list will just bring me great joy and satisfaction. While I did get some satisfaction from crossing out things on my to-do list, however, I found myself to be less and less productive. Now, before I share my effective to-do list technique, let me quickly talk about why I found myself to be less and less productive with the way I was doing the to-do list. One is simply the paradox of choice. It's easier for us to make decisions and act when there are few choices to choose from. Looking at 50-item to-do list would either paralyze me or would simply send me in the default mode of checking my emails for an hour as against working on my to-do list. Second is complexity, which will happen when you have tasks on your list which are either 3-minute long or 33-minute long. You will invariably focus on the shorter tasks for psychological payoffs and the dopamine release that I talked about, which comes from crossing item from that list. That simply means some of those tasks on the list will wait for long time. Third is lack of prioritization. These standard to-do lists don't provide sufficient detail and context on the action or the task, which can help you determine what you should focus on or work on. Because usually when we create the to-do list, it's not in order of priority. It's just all the tasks thrown in there in terms of a list that we have which we need to get done without any realization of the priority. All tasks look same on the paper, 3 or 4 words in a line. Because while to-do lists serve as a best list for our intentions or the things that we intend to do, they also have things which are trivial, unimportant, which we just feel obliged to get done. Now here is exactly how I make my to-do list, which has exploded my productivity significantly. So start with that long to-do list. Don't hold back. Mine at times may have 50 items. The long list is a compilation of everything you need to do. That compilation is not a working list. It's a memory list. Add items liberally and remove things that no longer feel relevant. Its purpose is to keep me from forgetting anything. I never actually work from this list. It's simply a list of things I think I need to do. The first thing on my list is just the first thing I thought of. Now second, next to this long list, I make another section which is titled as must do list. Here I write down the one or max 3 things from the long list. The ones that I most want to accomplish today. Remember, we have limited time in our day. So assuming that you can do more than 3 tasks, unless they are really 2-minute tasks each, you will not be able to accomplish this list. So make sure you prioritize and pick the most important task from the list and make sure they are not more than 3. Otherwise, you will be overwhelmed and it will become another long, unprioritized to-do list. Now, if you pick something huge, let's say making a YouTube video, break it down and pinpoint a task you can complete in one sitting. Let's say writing down the script for that particular video. And for the balance of the list, break it down into 3 sections. Within next week, within next month, no deadline. The idea here is to sort the balance of the list into items which need to be done within next week, either within next month, or the items which don't have any deadline at all. This will help you the next day when you're trying to pick up those 1 or 2 or max 3 tasks that need to be put into must to-do list. Make sure when you put this to-do list into the sections of next week, next month or no deadline, you put them basis their urgency and basis their importance. For instance, something that is not urgent, not important will go in the heading of no deadline. And this is a task which may stay there for weeks or months and never get done. And it is okay because again, this wasn't urgent and this wasn't important. This way you can sort your work based on when it needs to get done and based on what priority and urgency it holds. Now put your long list away and don't look at it again until you've finished your must-do list for the day. The must-do list reflects a strategic and intentional choice as to what you will focus on next and continue to focus till it gets done. The act of making the must-do list is to prioritize and commit to that priority. So now let's quickly talk about how do we prioritize from that long list. Because you might be asking which of my 50 items that I have in my to-do list should I move into my must-do list. There will always be just a few things that matter the most than all of the rest. Frankly speaking, understanding this concept is like a magic compass. Because if you give yourself a moment of contemplation, you will exactly know what is that one thing which is the most important thing. And if you're still not sure, look at your long list and ask yourself, which is one thing that you are avoiding the most? That is probably your most important thing, the thing that should move into the must-do list. Here's the thing about choosing your must-do list. You cannot go wrong with it because you are actually intentional about it, and being intentional about it will get you to working till completion or something that really matters. Even if you feel stuck, stick with it. For instance, if you're writing, keep writing. If you're someone like me who's making YouTube videos, keep making those YouTube videos. Even if you don't love at times what you're really producing. Now in the end, some piece of advice. Keep at your must-do list even if you feel the pressure of, let's say, checking your emails or other things that are left undone. Because you've already made your priority earlier in the day. It's working through that must-do list that really gets you to the other side. Leaving the challenge for something that is easier in the moment may let you take off more items in your long to-do list, but at the end of the day, it will leave you with a hollow sense of accomplishment. Choose your must-to-do list and then hide your long list and get to work. And then when someone asks you how your day was, your answer will be, great, because that thing that I've been procrastinating on is now done. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully this video will now help you make better and more effective to-do list and hence make your day more and more productive. Thank you.